Apple just had a really busy morning. The company just announced a brand new chip, a refreshed Mac Mini, and a new Mac Studio, and pre-orders are already live. So let's just jump right into everything that Apple announced today. We'll start with the big one. Apple just revealed the M6, and it's the company's first chip built on a 2-nanometer process. That's the big headline today. Moving to 2 nanometers lets Apple pack more transistors into a smaller die, and Apple says that density is a big part of why this chip gains ground on both performance and power efficiency at the same time. So let's talk about what's actually inside. So the M6 has a 12-core CPU, which is 2 cores more than the M5. That's made up of 2 super cores, 4 performance cores, and 6 efficiency cores. Apple is claiming the world's fastest single-thread performance here, along with up to 1.2 times faster multi-threaded performance than the M5, and up to 2.4 times faster than the original M1. So if you're still on an M1 machine, you might want to consider upgrading at this point because that's going to feel like a massive leap. And also, shout out to Apple Silicon because people probably still on an M1 machine and are totally fine and might not even need to upgrade until M7 or M8. Now, on the graphics side, you're getting a 12-core GPU, again, 2 more cores than the M5, and every one of those cores has a neural accelerator built in. Apple says that translates to nearly a 30% jump in peak GPU compute for AI compared to the M5, and more than 8 times the M1. In plain terms, that means faster prompt processing if you're running large language models on the device itself. The GPU also picks up updates to shader core architecture, dynamic caching, hardware-accelerated ray tracing, and a 50% increase in geometry rates for more complex graphics. Basically, to sum it all up, more performance, faster speeds, more power efficiency. Then, of course, the neural engine. This is where Apple did something new. The M6 introduces a dual 16-core neural engine, and Apple says it offers up to twice the peak compute of previous gens. The clever part is that the system frameworks can automatically tap both engines at once, so apps can run AI models faster without developers having to do anything special. Rounding it out, the chip supports up to 32 gigs of unified memory and up to 170 gigabytes per second of the memory bandwidth. That's a 10% bump over M5 and 2.5 times the M1. So where can you get an M6 machine? Well, that brings us to the new Mac Mini. Apple announced the next generation Mac Mini today alongside the chip. And of course, you can configure it with either the all-new M6 chip or the M5 Pro chip that launched earlier this year. The M6 model starts at $899, and the M5 Pro model starts at $1,699. Pre-orders are open right now, and it ships and hits stores on Tuesday, September 22nd. And that price is worth mentioning here because this is not the best part. The $899 M6 Mini is $300 more than the M4 model that originally launched at $599. Now, some of that gap already happened. Back in June, Apple repriced that Mac Mini up to $799, so compared to that more recent number, it's really only a $100 price increase, but between the last gen to now, we went from M4 to M6, it's a $300 price increase. The M5 Pro version also adds another $100 on top of the M4 Pro's already increased price. Apple points to a reason that's becoming pretty familiar for all of this. The rapid build-out of AI data centers has driven up demand for memory and storage chips across the entire tech industry, and those higher components costs are flowing through to products like this. Now, if you really want to spend more money, let's cover the Mac Studio, which also got refreshed alongside the Mini. The new Mac Studio comes with the M5 Max and the M5 Ultra. The M5 Max model starts at $2499 with 36 gigs of memory, 512 gigs of storage, and the M5 Ultra model starts at $5499 with 96 gigs of memory and a terabyte of storage. One thing to flag here if you're a high-end buyer, the M5 Ultra Studio with 512 gigs of unified memory won't be available until late October, and Apple hasn't announced pricing for that configuration yet. So if you're thinking about buying any of these Macs, real quick price breakdown, M6, $899. That comes with 16 gigs and 256. That is the base model. Mac Mini with M5 Pro, $1699 with 24 gigs and 512 for storage. And then Mac Studio with the M5 Max at $2499 or $5499 if you decide to go with the base model M5 Ultra. So if you want to pre-order those, you can do that right now, aside from that one that has no ship date yet, or it's going to be in sometime in October. But you can get everything else right now, and it'll come out on September 22nd. We are also just moments or perhaps another day away from Apple invites going out for the iPhone event that's going to be happening in early September. So be sure to subscribe. We have tons of content covering these machines, covering the new iPhones, just a lot happening. So Make sure to subscribe and, of course, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this new Mac Mini. Are you planning to pick one up, the new M6? Or are you going M5 Pro? Perhaps you're going to be spending a lot on an M5 Max or Ultra Mac Studio. I want to hear about it in those comments. This has been Out with MacRumors. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.